After discovering a crack in the floor of our shower, we decided we should head back to the dock to investigate. It turned into one of the biggest projects we've undertaken to date, and we also picked up our new fridge and had another surprise job pop up. So this is what we could smell. If you were only using this on the weekends, you'd none the wiser.
What's going on this morning, Jess?
We are going back to the yard. We're just going to go into Redland City Marina and pull up there alongside the dock. Redland City Marina has been kind enough to take delivery of all of our orders and stuff. So
Thanks,
I think
Kenny.
Ken's office is full of our fridges at the moment. So we're pretty keen to go and get those off him. Such a dicky little channel, this one. It's like 0.8 of a metre all through here. Super shallow. So it's pretty awkward to read the depths because we filled that dash in. Our depth reader is under here. So I've got to relay it to Michael. Look how narrow this channel is. It's crazy. 1.5, 1.3.
You got there, Jess?
Got our new fridge, pretty excited. Gonna swap out the old one and then we can use the old freezer as old fridge as a freezer and something like some ice cream. We were off to a good start, but what you can't see here out of screen is that Michael had a rope right behind his legs. He was about to go in with our new fridge and the entire yard was watching.
Nobody was supposed to see that.
Nice, look at this bad boy.
Yeah. Precariously holding there, Jess.
We put in the fridge in and just realised we hadn't filmed much of it, so
The new Evercool.
I'm pretty excited. This means that we can freeze stuff. I'm so excited to have banana smoothies again and ice cream.
So this is the, what is it, the 110 litre?
Yep, 110 litre upright.
And it has 10 litre freezer, 100 litre fridge.
And the freezer's like legit sealed unit in the fridge, so it'll actually freeze. So I'm pretty excited about having ice cubes in the rum and coke.
And I reckon it uses 2 amps a day.
2 amps. Well, that one only uses about 3, and that's an older model, so
I'm excited.
I couldn't imagine it would be worse.
So we just cut this out yesterday with the jigsaw. It's a bit narrower than the old fridge that was in there. I've epoxied all down there. And then I've put a new Anderson plug on over here, which should fit, no worries. And that's it. Put it in, let it rest for an hour because we've been jostling it. And then we've got a fridge and then turn the other Evercool 50 into a freezer.
Look at that fit. I wonder how many fingers will get jammed in there in the fridge.
Very nice.
Fit.
It's got that new fridge smell too.
It does. It does.
Is working or not working?
Go have a look in the fridge.
Oh no, she's on.
Woohoo!
We got fridge.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Shall we give you a full tour of the fridge? This is the lock, and in here we have our fridge. Crisper, first level, second level, and freezer with the world's cutest ice tray. Is it cold? I'll open it.
You already done it. You've already been in
Yeah,
there.
show us. Not sponsored.
Oh, it's icy in there.
Yeah, it's cold. And the chili bin, it's cold too.
Really? So it's done. Good to go.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't take long.
No.
Let's transfer the over.
Getting a start on this kitchen, so ripping this old laminate off. It's getting wet under there, so we're just gonna paint it. So we did actually go to the shop yesterday and got this stuff called tile and laminate primer. So I'm gonna sand this back, dry it out. Just keep methoing it and then sand it, give it a nice finish. Then I'm going to coat it in epoxy and then paint it with that primer. So this is what we could smell. So we knew this had to be done. And then like 2 days ago, we're like, it stinks. It smells like rotten bin. And then we just went, oh, we have to do it. So we pulled it up. And that's what's under there. That's what stinks. That's what happens when you live on a boat, because if you were only using this on the weekends, you'd use it, it'd get wet and it'd dry up and it wouldn't smell. And then the week if you came back a week later, it'd be dry and you'd be none the wiser.
Jesse's completely turned this into some sort of tent. So we decided to pull the sink laminate up, which meant the sink and the taps and everything went. And
Best she's ever bloody looked.
And now the stove is up.
Yep,
Anyway.
getting there.
After sanding the old laminate back and smoothing out the surface, it was time to epoxy the bench tops to make sure they'd be waterproof, cove in the edges so food won't get trapped there anymore, and tape it up ready for the primer. I put a number of coats of paint on over the next few days before finishing with a clear coat. We then had to let the paint set for 5 days before putting anything heavy back on it.
What are you doing there, Jess?
Pulling the tape off. Looks pretty good actually. Nice sharp edge. So we have been worried about this crack in the floor of the bathroom for quite some time. Basically there's a crack, so on the floor it looks like we've got 2 struts that go this way. When you tread on the outside of the struts, it's like it flexes it up, and the 2 cracks are along the struts. We haven't like dug around much because we wanted to keep it as sealed as possible. We've just put the screwdriver in.
Right.
It was time to rip everything out from the bilge and sand it all back to see what we were working with. Like all boat jobs, it took a lot longer than expected, and I was in there for most of the day, with the exception of a few trips to the hardware store to get tougher sanding pads.
Okay, so did a lot of scraping and I've just sanded it all. So it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, I'm gonna go have a shower because I'm pretty dusty. I'm a bit of a dusty character today.
What have you discovered, Jess, in your diggings?
So it's like literally the last run, and I just was scraping the paint off and it went straight into the wood there. And of course the last bit I found is where the rod is, so sort of annoying because if we end up cutting that out, it means I've sanded all this for nothing. But hopefully it's just isolated. I've just been chasing it out. It looks like
Doesn't look too bad.
looks like that's it. Ugh, so frustrating. So close to finishing. Literally, that's the last bit. What's going on down there, Michael?
The worst has been discovered.
So water just came out.
Yeah, so there's probably water trapped on the other side of that.
That's a really bad design. Okay, so the latest is Ken's come down and looked at it and given us some advice. Said go buy a multi-tool, cut the rod out and see how bad it is. too bad.
It's not fully bad.
Now the real test here.
It's all glassed in there.
That's good. Any signs of rot?
It's wet under there.
After seeing how damp it was underneath, we decided to rip the other side off to check that out too.
Looks pretty good in there, really.
So, after much deliberation, all my grinding and sanding is just a massive waste of time. We're basically just going to rip the whole floor up. Better off laying one big flat piece in here so when we fiberglass it, it's nice and smooth.
So yeah, instead of dipping this old wood, just one big solid piece, 2 layers of biaxial glass. We'll leave this bilge open underneath here, and we'll drill another hole connecting this whole area as one big bilge. And then we'll also just have one drain here in this piece of timber, so the whole thing will only have one hole with a hose connected to it, which will run through this little bulkhead
And into this bilge.
We'll have a separate drain sump container.
Like a plastic sump or a fiberglass or something.
With a solid plan, we got stuck into it. We removed the old floor and sanded all the remaining structure so we could recoat it with epoxy.
We've taken the sides back to the epoxy and the wood or the hull. So the next step is we're going to cut. I've cut a template out to fit this perfectly. That's the ply there that we've cut out. Fits snug like a glove.
One single piece this time, no trivet, no box.
And then this is going to go down, and we're just going to cut another bit as well.
So the bilge is going to go one drain in the corner straight into a bilge box that we're going to put in here. So I've just put the floor back in after routing this hole for the drain. So that'll sit nice and flush in there. It'll check out for the hose clamp. So I'm just trying to get the fall of the floor right so it all drains properly. And see where all the water's going to run. Not too bad. Mixing stations.
Yep, mixing stations, getting it all prepped up.
Alright Jess, what are you doing?
I'm wetting it all up. Just wet the paddle pop sticks. They're all epoxied. So we've got the first coat of epoxy on the bathroom floor. So we've done all the struts, done the paddle pop sticks, completely covered those in epoxy and dripped heaps in all the little holes and filled those up. So it's looking nice now. So we're just waiting for that to go tacky. So we can put the next coat on. This little epoxy workstation happening here. Here goes nothing.
Getting there, Jeff?
Yeah.
Got enough epoxy?
I think so, yeah. Messy work, that's for sure.
It doesn't matter as long as it sticks.
Yeah, well, that's definitely gonna happen. I've made my little homemade builder's scraper here to fit perfectly.
Once we had a nice thick layer of epoxy filler on all the support beams and around the edges, we dropped in the previously epoxied 12mm marine ply floor and weighed it down with dive weights to let it set overnight.
Okay, so floor's in, solid. Just sanded the coving nice and smooth on the edge this morning. So that'll be a nice little edge for the fiberglass. We've got the little routed out hole there, and the drain will go to a plastic bilge box in here. Jessie on the toilet again. So we're going to epoxy, then put the glass down, a bit more epoxy. Another layer, and then done.
Our GoPro ran out shortly after this, so we missed applying a fabric called peel ply, which we placed on top of the last layer of glass and using a standard paint roller worked out all the air bubbles until it was smooth.
What's going on in there, Michael?
Oh, I'm just about to rip this peel ply off. So apparently putting this on makes it a really smooth finish. Minimise sanding. We'll have a look, eh? It's weird that it doesn't stick.
You need to leave the peel ply on for at least 2 days until the epoxy is fully cured before pulling it off to reveal a smooth surface.
So I've procrastinated as much as I can. Now I'm going to see myself in the fiberglass dungeon of doom. Sand all these edges, make them nice.
We were really impressed with the peel ply. It eliminated any need for sanding except around the edges where the glass met the walls. So we're going to put the primer down, then wait 2 hours, and then we'll tape it up and put the first coat of the 2-pack. You might remember a few episodes ago we found some rod on the back step. Well, like most boat jobs, this one has dragged on and it was time to finish it.
Prep this again. We spent so long epoxied it that the glass has got a bit of sun damage, so I just sanded it back a little bit and added some more epoxy. And we'll put the primer on that too and then go straight to the deck grip and deck paint. We've masked off the bathroom. We've faired out the edges really nice and smooth. Well, now look it is. This floor should never leak again.
So I would highly recommend, if you're ever working with epoxy primer, to get an extraction fan or a really good face mask. One breath of this in a confined space and you can tell it is just not good for you. Our face mask just didn't cut it, so we took it in turns and practiced our breath holding when painting this. Definitely not recommended.
So we're just putting the base coat of the 2-pack on the shower floor. I'm going to put this on. Let it slip over.
I can't see a thing. Glass beads, hard to see. So we had heaps of leftover paint. So I've just painted the sides here, so that was all missing from the repair. And then that will be yellow tomorrow. We've actually got heaps of paint left over, so I'm quickly sanding this down because I did fair it again. And once that's smooth, I'm going to paint that and it'll look real nice finally. It's not like this hodgepodge gypsy boat that we've looked like for the last few months. So, yeah. Good morning.
Morning.
Why so glum, Michael?
We had a little bit of a boat party last night, but back to work in the morning.
Someone's hung dog millionaire.
So we put this intergrip on there last night over the wet 2-pack, and it's stuck to it now. So we've masked out the area where we want the grip. We're going to keep the edges grip free. Now I'm just going to pull the masking tape off the outside edge, and then we'll just coat the whole thing.
Inner edge.
Coat the whole thing in another layer of 2-pack. Seal in all that grip.
Looks a bit patchy.
Yeah, it's not great. It's very hard to see a white grip on a white 2-pack.
Alright, got a bit of editing going on. What's happening over here, Miguel? Bit hungover still?
But getting there. So, the commercially available plastic boxes that they have don't fit in our bilge. So we just cut up our old rubbish bin and we're going to have a complete separate bilge box now. The shower water will come in here through the bilge hose, and then it'll just fill up this little box, and once the water rises, that float switch will go up, activate this pump, and then pump the bilge out through this non-return overboard. Simple and easy. You can buy these boxes for like 200 bucks.
Yeah.
But we were going to do it, but it didn't fit. I just cut this old rubbish bin up from Big W.
$7
and $7 HDPE glue from Bunnings.
And we already had the bilge from the previous shower.
Yeah.
So the previous shower you had to turn the sump on.
You had to turn it on, and you forget sometimes, and if you forgot, it overflowed into the main bilge, and you got shower water in the main bilge. It's just like
you
not
don't
the
want
greatest
fresh water in your bilge.
So yeah, you don't want fresh water anywhere on your timber boat. So it's all going to be in this plastic HDPE thing. This will outlive me.
Join us next episode where we take off for a dive with Tim.
So Tim has literally chosen the coldest day of the year to go for a dive.
Oi, underneath. Come last dive, the last day, the last dive, last drift of the last dive and last dive.
Cook up some fresh crays and rename our boat before heading back out on the bay.
That's it.
We're done?
Done.
We're done. Let's get
Woohoo! Pow!
I mean, I'm cooked. I can't do any more. I'm feeling sick today. Feeling out of it. I spent like 2 solid days in here grinding.
It's my baby. I want to do it. I want to finish it. Oh, now it's the shit part. Michael can do it.
Da-da-da. Did it say leave it 24 hours?
I just said until it starts cycling.
Oh, let's do it. Get some ice cream up in here. Oh yeah, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream.
It's not rotten.
That's amazing. Yay, a win.
The wonders of epoxy.
The wonders of epoxy.